This Sagittarius full moon is lighting up an area for each of us where we're working towards more purpose and higher wisdom in one area of our life. But simultaneously, situations are showing up that are forcing us to let go of overanalyzing that wisdom, worrying about the details, moving into the abyss of flow and unknowing sometimes of being somewhat detached from the process and just being in it. This is a lot of contradicting energy. It could show up in tense ways. Check out this video to learn more about the Sagittarius full moon. That would be in the intro. And then sign by sign, get a sense of how this is showing up in your life. A full moon in Sag. This means that the moon is in Sagittarius and the sun is in Gemini. This is an opposition of illumination, especially a full moon in Sag, which is all about our greater understanding of the world and how it works. The neat thing about this Sagittarius full moon is that Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, and they have just gone through their annual conjunction where they meet in the sky. This takes just over a year for it to happen, but this is a moment where Jupiter and Mercury are in a brand new cycle. And they are the rulers of this axis that we're talking about with Sag and Gemini. So this is a full moon, but it marks a bigger cycle. It is all about getting the mundane ideas, the busy ideas in Gemini into purpose. Sagittarius wants the bigger truth. It wants the bigger direction in life. Sagittarius wants to understand at a deeper level. It wants to know the purpose, the truth, the real direction, and the big whys. Why are we here? So all of us are going to go through a moment in this full moon where we want to know what is really important for the direction that we're going in. We're going to want to go on a journey and feel it out for ourselves. We cannot just be told with Sagittarius. We need to experience it and come to our own truths and our own reality. This moon is packed with both more intense and transformative energy as well as wonderful opportunities. Sun and the moon are in tension of Sqaure to the nodes, which again feels more like an eclipse than just a regular moon, because this has to do with the bigger direction that we're going in life. The big picture is the nodal axis. With the North Node in Pisces, there is an element of wanting to understand energy more, wanting to make sense of things and put it into the wisdom of Sagittarius. Jupiter and Mercury in their conjunction have just moved into Cancer, and we've been feeling this square from Jupiter to the nodes for quite some time. Now Jupiter is squaring Saturn and Neptune. I have recently put out a Jupiter in Cancer video. If you haven't seen that one, check it out in the description below. You will get a lot more information about this Jupiter tension. It speaks to a balance that we are going to be looking for when it comes to discipline, restriction of Saturn, the dreaminess of Neptune, and the mission that Jupiter is on. To understand at a deeper level what the purpose of all of this is, Jupiter is working towards enlightenment and whatever that process is. Jupiter is also the energy that can have us overdoing things, can have us feeling joyful and excited. In Sagittarius, there's an exaggeration that can happen, especially at a full moon. So this is a moon where don't take anything very literally at the time of the moon. Wait till this energy fades a little bit. I think there are going to be a lot of situations that are accidentally exaggerated, not with the intention of misguiding anyone, but just that it's when you're caught up in a moment and there's a sense of joy and elation about a mission or about an idea. It's like walking too fast and tripping over yourself. Aquarius. What is it with your creativity, your creative self-expression, and the community, the audience you're trying to reach, or the people that you surround yourself with? This is the axis in question for you. It's the 5th and the 11th house, which is all about, in the 5th house, being as true to yourself as you can. And that means sometimes uncovering some layers of the ways that you should act, the ways that the group might expect you to act. In tension with the North Node in Pisces, which is your values and other people's resources. So this grand cross in the sky of the North Node in your 2nd house and this full moon in your 11th house could have you in a big tension with your values and other people's resources. It looks like you could be feeling a bit like you're on puppet strings with trying to please other people, trying to do what the group needs you to do, what your audience needs you to do, maybe being sucked into need for resources and support from other people. And in this grand cross, it is the resources from other people and the communities that might be letting go of at this time. And if that's the case, it's to make room for something that is more in alignment with who you are. When you walk through the world with this sort of autonomy, as Aquarians do. So this energy is a bit surprising to me because Aquarian, and it just might be that you're leveling up to this next place of being really uniquely you, breaking out of yet another mold of the way that you were raised or the way that you have acted to get along with people in order to really accomplish what matters to you and maybe have fun. This is a time with the sun in your 5th house where your creative energy is on fire, and that's going to be what brings you joy and happiness. There could be dating and romance and new beginnings with people that are part of this story. But the tension still lies there. It is in a lot of ways you versus the group. Partnerships play a role for you right now at this full moon, Aquarius. There could be some tension with Mars finishing its transit in your 7th house, and it's squaring unexpected things with Uranus in your 4th house. Uranus has been in your 4th house for quite some time, and it could be breaking down things that you inherited from your family lineage, things, behaviors and ways of being that are connected to home and family for you. Or it could be actual home has been quite unpredictable and is going through some revolutionary change. But this is an energy of tension and breakthrough when it comes to partnerships and your home life. Often with the 4th house, it is inner world. It is the way that we were raised and the deep innate parts of ourselves that are somewhat automatic. But with a Sagittarius full moon, we're getting an enlightened moment of wisdom and insight into things that it's time to take a look at. And it's not always time to take a look at everything. So there's a season for it, and there's a time when we're ready for more information. And this is that moment. If things feel jarring at home or with significant people in your life, know that it's just meant to bring something up for you to become aware of it and have a better sense of what is important for you in networks and connections, what is important for you in your values overall, your possessions, maybe even redefining dreams and long-held wishes, because that's the 11th house for you as well in Sagittarius. So there could be an element of being an adventurer, an explorer, and finding ways that adventure and seeking new information can continue to challenge you and just keep things interesting and fresh overall. The Mars piece, even though it's in square with Uranus in your 4th house of home, there's a grand trine in the sky with the moon, Mars, and Chiron. So this is wound healing. Whatever shows up, even if it feels uncomfortable in the moment, you're going to blast through something. Something's going to be released under this full moon that is holding you back from creating better connections, feeling more passionate and motivated in your relationships, and probably creating a home life that really works for you too, in something that is different than the way that you were raised, different than status quo, and different maybe than what others expect of you. You let me know how this is going for you, Aquarius. There are so many possibilities, but this is the essence of the energy that's shifting for you and that is coming into your awareness during this full moon. Thank you so much for being here, for watching this video, for hitting the notification bell, for liking, subscribing, and chatting with me in the comments. It's so much fun. And as always, I would love to see you for a one-on-one Zoom reading if you feel called to that. The link is in the description below. Have a wonderful full moon, and I will see you next time. Pisces, this Sagittarius full moon is happening in your 10th house. And this Grand Cross is on your axis of 1st and 7th and 4th and 10th. So this is going to be an impactful full moon, to say the least. The North Node is in your sign, and the South Node is in the sign of other people for you and partnerships. This axis that's being activated with the full moon, it's a moment where you're taking energy back for you. You're figuring out what really matters to you when it comes to Piscean-like things. The energetic essence that's at the core of your being and how you manage that with other people. Your image out in the world, though, is where the moon is. It's where the 10th house is, and it's reflecting what is on the inside, your 4th house, your home, your inner worlds. This is a moment where your public image is a new reflection of what's on the inside. It looks to me like a lot of Pisces are getting very clear on who you really are, what your energy is made of, what affects your energy, how to manage that, and the benefits of showing the outer world what's really going on inside. We have had a lot of activity in the Gemini and Sagittarius axis. We just had the new moon in Gemini, and now we're having this full moon in Sagittarius. Jupiter and Mercury, the two rulers of your 4th house and 10th house, Gemini and Sagittarius, have conjoined, starting their brand new cycle. So that means that there's something that's reaching a new level and culminating point when it comes to how you express yourself to others. When it comes to breaking through the constructs that you were made with, that you innately adopted from home, mother, your family lineage, your ancestors. This is a moment where you're recognizing an energetic pattern that you might want to transform, that you want to expand into something that is more truthful and applicable for where you're at and who you are in the public right now. The things that you're working towards and how people see you, you want that to be aligned with the bigger wisdom that you're taking on under a Sagittarius energy like this. It is the energy of being on a pilgrimage to experience new things and to transform and change. You are a mutable sign like Sagittarius. So there is energy there that is designed to transform on a regular basis. There's an ebb and flow to that. When it comes to Gemini in your 4th house and Sagittarius in your 10th house, this is about ideas and concepts that swirl around, and how do you put them into meaningful context and present that out into the world. This is a moment where you're not just mimicking what you've been told or what you've heard from other people, but you're creating an application in Sagittarius in the 10th house of visibility, where you're showing people something that makes more sense. You're putting information into a new application for others to see. And so you're not just mimicking what has been shown to you in the past. You're putting it into form that makes more sense, and you're showing that to the world. Uranus and Mars are squaring in your 3rd and 6th house. So there's something about your daily habits, about the way that you use your words in your mind. The 3rd house is a Gemini house, so there's something about your daily routine that could be changing, transforming, getting axed. And you're the one making this call likely, but it's because of some restlessness when it comes to your communication with Uranus there in your 3rd house, that there's something that you want to break through and be different when it comes to the ideas that you come up with and the ways that you express those. The third house could have to do with neighbors, close relatives, short distance travel. So there could be some unexpected things that happen around the time of this full moon. And if there's unexpected travel setbacks or communication mishaps, know that this is an opportunity to get more in tune with what really matters to you in a purposeful way and how you express that out in the world, how you use what's really meaningful to you and how you work towards that in career or other practical goals that you have in life. That's the 10th house. It is things that you work towards, that you build, that you have a strong foundation for in this physical world. And that's why it's career and reputation. Those are things that we build. They are physical representations of an energy. By classical position, that's ruled by Capricorn, the 10th house. But for your chart, it's Sagittarius. And that means that you're not just blindly going along with things, but you are blindly stepping into something new. Sagittarius is also connected to the Fool card in Tarot. So there is a leap of faith that happens when we're going on an adventure, on a journey of finding higher truth and more meaning. And it means taking risks sometimes. It means unpredictable things happen, but the benefit is that you're breaking the mold and you're breaking the container of just doing things the way they've been done just for the sake of it, for the sake of safety, for the sake of a foundation. The opportunity is potentially creating something quite amazing that will bring you that security and foundation that you want in the 10th house, because regardless of how you get there, that is what the 10th house work is all about. And this full moon is a moment where you are one step closer to building that future and foundation that you want out in the world. And this is a fated time with the North Node in your sign, and especially at this moment when it gets activated, a fated time for transformation of self and really following what matters to you, regardless of what's going on in significant partnerships and with significant people around you. So this is a moment where things could get shaken up, news could come in that is unexpected with work and routine, and there could be some changes with home and career that very likely you have been wanting. And this is just a moment where we come that much closer to it. Thank you so much for being here, Pisces. Thank you for hanging out with this video and chatting in the comments with me below. It's so much fun to do these videos and meet some of you on via Zoom and through the chats. If you would like to book a one-on-one Zoom reading with me, my link is in the description below. Would love to see you there. But for now, have a wonderful full moon, and I will see you next time. Hi, Aries. This full moon is in your 9th house. So this is on the axis of 3rd and 9th with the sun in Gemini in your 3rd house. There could be some communication, some media, or a short distance trip, maybe something from a neighbor that shows up and illuminates a new idea for you, a new way of thinking about the world, a new belief system. Maybe this is just a moment where you are stepping into teaching, or you find a teacher. You might not even know how impactful this teacher is at the moment. Someone could come into your life that years down the road, you look back and realize that this person had a big influence on the way that you walk through the world and the way that you view things, the way that you see life as an adventure, and the way that you heal. With the North Node in your 12th house and the South Node in your 6th, this is creating the Grand Cross for you at the time of this moon. And the North Node in your 12th of Pisces, it's about understanding the energetic realms more than you did before. You could be taking a step away from the day-to-day grind, maybe doing different work, less work. You could be letting go of unhelpful habits. And in this process, you're leaning on your intuition. You're leaning on the sense of the energy that connects us all, that unites us all. Maybe you're enjoying more rest. That's going to be part of this transition at this full moon. Maybe you're letting go of an old concept of the way that you view the world in the 9th house with Sagittarius. And in allowing yourself to let go of that old concept, you're expanding your mind further. You are expanding your ability to feel into energy in different ways. Sometimes it's just a matter of letting go of the way we think things should be and letting our bodies and the way we feel about things guide us through the world. The Mars-Uranus square is happening in your 2nd and 5th house. So your values are changing. But what's motivating this is a desire to be more authentically you, to be expressive, be able to feel free and vital and enjoying things that really matter to you. And so there could be something about the way that you've been having fun, the way you've been dating, the way that you've been expressing yourself and creatively expressing yourself that doesn't jive with the way your values are changing. And this could have to do with children as well. Your values overall could be changing, and that could have an impact on how you feel about children, how you feel about having children, how you feel about the children that you already have. Maybe there's unexpected resources that need to go out towards children or to some creative project or something fun going on. That's one physical manifestation, but energy is more of how this is going to apply to most people. And that is more about values and being able to really be free to be who you are and also understand who you are. Sometimes it's not a matter of being blocked or thinking that we're supposed to be a certain way for someone else and masking who we truly are. It's really just not knowing. It's not being in touch with that part of ourselves. I find that there are constant moments throughout life that challenge us in different ways and make us realize that, oh, there is actually a new part of myself that I didn't know before, I hadn't seen yet. And that can guide you into new interests and new hobbies and new ways of expressing yourself. And that really aligns with the bigger feel of this full moon, which is your belief systems, how you walk through the world, how you step into adventure. With this full moon, there's so much dispersed energy for everyone's chart. So this is hitting a lot of aspects of life. But for you, there's transformation that's happening with self, with relationships. It's really coming down to values at the moment of this full moon. So whatever is going on the outside, whichever challenging situations might show up, don't worry about it too much as far as this actual situation. Think about how it's challenging your mindset, the way that you use your mind on a daily basis, and how much value or how much direction and truth or purpose does that information have? Because we're at a time right now too where there is so much access to information, and we can any topic, we are overwhelmed with facts, fun facts, useless facts, useful facts. But this is a time where you're going to be discerning what really is useful, what has purpose, what thought patterns during the day that you live with, which ones are getting you to where you want to go, which ones maybe it's time to let go of. If you are in writing, this would be a wonderful time to get a writing coach or to learn new things about the direction that you want to go in with writing. And you might just have an epiphany of what really matters to you and how to align your writing or media work with that. No matter which details show up in your life, this is a wonderful time to get really clear on what matters to you. Spend time resting, meditating, feeling through the energy, and most likely somebody is going to come into your life that has helpful information for you that's going to help you leap forward into a place that is more meaningful and maybe just help give you that map to a road that does have more purpose and aligns with your values and brings you that much more fun, helps your creativity. It could help you really get in touch with more creative layers and have a purpose behind that too, and more of a spiritual focus perhaps. You let me know. I would love to know how this moon is showing up for you. It's so much fun chatting with you in the comments and meeting you for Zoom readings. If you feel called to do that, my link is in the description below. But thank you for just being here. It is so much fun to chat with you with these videos, and I will see you next time. Hi, Taurus. This is an 8th house full moon for you. This is a time where you could go through major psychological transformations. Something could release from your life that has been holding you back from more adventure and more spiritual seeking, understanding the greater meaning of it all, but at a psychological level when it's the 8th house. This is about your shadow, your subconscious. And this could be a metamorphosis time where you notice something that you didn't realize before. This could be secrets and sometimes things that are hidden. Like shadow and subconscious work is, there are moments where this becomes illuminated and we understand a new layer of ourselves and we're ready to really integrate it and accept it, and then we move through it. This illumination of your psyche, of transformation, this could be resources from other people, intimacy, how you merge with others, the depths of that merging. For you, there needs to be a fun and intellectual quality to it. There needs to be a bigger spiritual process and some truth and meaning to go into those 8th house topics. Otherwise, Taurus doesn't want to concern themselves necessarily with that which is dark and decaying in life. So this axis where the full moon is happening, it is happening in Sagittarius and Gemini. But for Taurus, this is the 2nd and 8th house, which is your axis in the 2nd house where the sun is. So it's about resources, what you value, how you manage your energy, how you nourish your body, the energy that you vibrate with, balancing to do with the way that you connect your energy with other people. And if there are blockages in shadow work, they can look like judging other people for qualities that we're not quite recognizing in ourselves. This grand cross in the sky involving the nodes and the full moon. The North Node is in your 11th house. And this nodal axis of 5th and 11th means that it has to do with how your creative self-expression, how you are authentically you, what you need to let go of there in order to be more connected with moving forward in groups and communities. You are a sign that is going through radical transformation, and you have just one more month of Uranus in your sign, and then it moves on to your 2nd house of Gemini. So this radical change that you're going through is about breaking the mold of the way that you were raised and the ways that you just automatically mimic the world around you in order to function in the world, which is the way that we learn. That's how toddlers learn, that's how babies learn. They start with mimicking. But when Uranus comes along in your sign, this is a time where you're noticing patterns of where that mimicking could be happening. And you're having moments where you get to consciously choose how you want to be, the people that you want to connect with, the community around you, how you want to communicate in the community. And at the time of this full moon, it is about how you want to merge with significant other people in your life. Shared resources, maybe new purpose and meaning in your bonds. There needs to be more of a spiritual purpose to the connections that you're having. You're noticing that the values of just mundane chit-chat are not as appealing at the moment. And there's a time and place, but ideas and chit-chat can get kind of messy and chaotic, and you want to funnel that into a direction that has more meaning for you. So questions about how you view the world. How do you view the world, and how does it work when it comes to psychology, your psychology, and the ways that people merge and bond at a psychological level? This is also the house of birth and death and rebirth, and the phoenix rising from the ashes, metamorphosis like a butterfly. So where are you at in that journey? Those are also questions that are going to be coming up. And likely at a full moon, this is a breaking out of the cocoon moment where you are opening up a new way of being and a new way of connecting to others. There could be some challenges with home and your inner world that come up. This Mars is finishing a transit in your 4th house, and it's squaring Uranus in your sign. So it could be that changes that you're going through, or radical ways that you want things to be different, are creating friction for you in your internal world or in your home life. And it could be that you're just feeling very frustrated about some of the ways that you were brought into this world when it comes to your family lineage, ancestors, the place that you grew up, the home that you're from. At the same time that there's frustrations cracking through your fourth house and your foundation of your chart and your home life, this is creating subconscious healing with Chiron in your 12th house. At an energetic level, you're reprogramming in really beautiful ways. So do remember that if conflicts and frustrations show up, but take a moment to be very intentional about how you want to connect with other people at the time of this full moon. And that's going to start to shift the automatic ways that you merge and connect, and even share resources with other people or have other people support you. This moon is a complex one. As much as there's tension in the sky, there is beautiful healing taking place. And this moment could feel like a big rupture. If it's feeling like shaky ground at the moment, do know that it is just cracking something from the past, and what is coming next is going to be that much more helpful in creating bonds and community that really matter to you. And a whole new you is really finishing off. It's been a long haul with Uranus in your sign, and it'll be interesting to see how that feels come July. But more on that next time. For now, thank you so much for just being here, chatting with astrology with me. It is so much fun to do these videos and chat in the comments. If you would like to book a one-on-one Zoom reading with me, my link is in the description below. Would love to see you there. It is a really profound time for a lot of Tauruses. So if you're feeling uncertain about what this has been all about, sometimes looking at your personal chart can be really helpful for that. I hope you have a wonderful full moon, and I will see you next time. Gemini. The mutable signs are really getting activated with this full moon, and you are one of them. But for you, this is partnerships. This is your 7th house, and something is coming to fruition, coming to completion with a partner. Because you have the South Node and the North Node in your 4th house and 10th house, the North Node is all about your public image, your career, the direction that you're heading and working towards in this world, the foundational work that you have done to accomplish things in life. This could be a moment where a significant partnership breaks that open for one reason or another and sends you on a different direction when it comes to career, public image, work. The Uranus-Mars tension is happening in your 12th house and your 3rd house. Mars is in your 3rd house of communication and media, thoughts, your daily thoughts, neighbors, short distance travel. This could be unexpected tension, a surprise coming to light when Uranus is in your 12th house, something you didn't see coming and you hear about it in the media or from a neighbor or sibling, maybe a letter, you get an email. This could be part of the story of something that's unfolding with significant people in your life. This is a brand new cycle for you and a significant other person. This is a moment where Geminis and Sagittarians and Virgos could all end up meeting somebody very important, someone that's coming in via some sort of contract or will have some sort of contract with that plays a big role in your life. This could also be contracts ending. So it can go either way, and definitely needs to be a personal chart reading to fully understand, but you'll know what's coming in this moon. There's some parts of it that could be unpredictable with Uranus and Mars, but with your axis, we've just had the new moon in Gemini. There's a strong chance that you know what you want, and you know that something needs to shift with karmic partnerships in order to get to the next level. And this is a moment where you can just see that coming into place. The South Node in Virgo is a moment where you can let go of doing too much work and feeling like you always need to be on top of things, striving for perfection in your inner world, striving for perfection in your home, being able to be on top of all the details when it comes to family and running a home and managing your own inner world, there's something that needs to just let go. And when you let go of things that have been keeping you entrapped or enslaved in your home and inner world, this is where you move in the direction of career and visibility and public image that you are wanting to. And this is when you get more clarity on partnerships as well. Though that could just be happening, given that it's the full moon. There is a level of awareness that is shifting, and the rest of your life is falling into place in a new way in some form or another. And with Virgo in the 4th house, it likely has to do with giving up some of the task management at home that you've been doing, freeing yourself up for what really matters, what you're really working towards when it comes to Capricorn 10th house matters. But for you, that's Pisces, where the North Node is. And there is an energetic quality that you want in your reputation or your image out in the world. Maybe your status and the things that you're achieving. The question then becomes, how do you tap into the energy that connects you to other people, that is what you want other people to feel first when they see you? This is ways that you take leadership in the world too. And this could have to do with significant partnerships and relationships. You might just be stepping into a new way of taking leadership, and you're finding that letting go of some of the inner anxiety and worry is allowing you to step into more of that personal power. Speaking of personal power, Pluto in your 9th house is speaking to your higher beliefs and the meaning behind the things that you do again. So there's a lot of stuff going on in your chart that shows that there needs to be deeper purpose, and that going over the mundane details of life no longer is enough, that you need to prioritize and have a hierarchy of what you're going to feed energy into and what you're just going to let go, because being busy with all the details is not sustainable in the long run. Partnerships are playing a big role in that at this time. You let me know how this is going for you, Gemini. There are lots of possibilities, and with this full moon, there are so many parts of everyone's chart lit up, but it is all about partnerships. It is all about the energy that you have, in the core of your being, in your home, how you choose to prioritize and operate in a way that works for you, that puts you in a position of power when it comes to protecting what really matters, having a higher purpose in everything that you do. That way, it's focusing on the higher purpose that you realize that some of those small details really do not matter as far as you're concerned. And that's going to maybe free up more space for your partnerships. Maybe this is a moment where some of the detail gets to fall behind, and you have a moment where you reach a new level with your partner because you're putting different energy into that and more energy into it. Watch for that unexpected information, something hidden coming to light, and don't worry about anything that feels jarring in the moment. At least big picture wise, it's just here to help you get clearer on your path and your journey into what matters to you. So you're probably getting one step closer to wisdom and healing. A full moon in Sagittarius in the 7th house is such a healing, expansive energy for your partners, whichever partners are showing up at this time. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, chatting with me in the comments. It's all so much fun, and I appreciate it so much. It's also been really fun meeting you for Zoom readings, and if you feel called to that at this time, the link is in the description below. But for now, have a wonderful full moon, and I will see you next time. Hi, Cancer. This is the 6th house full moon for you. So this is all about your routines, your habits, your daily activities. This could be work, but this is mundane routines. This is what you do to take care of your health. This is a health house. This is what you do to take care of work, to be productive, to function in society. And the sun is in your 12th house of rest, retreat. This is dissociation and not functioning in society. But it is also a place of being connected to all things. It is the dream state. It is everything that is ethereal and intangible and connects all beings in a spiritual way. It is also a time of rest before your birthday season, though this full moon is energetically very impactful. So I don't think that this particular time is going to feel like a big rest. It might be more that you're really noticing how to be more efficient and make room for more rest. You're noticing that you want to make room for energetic recovery and healing and getting ideas from an intuitive place. And it's using that intuition that's going to feed productivity into your 6th house, but in an efficient way, in a way that's healthier for your body, routines that bring new light and vitality, but also allow for rest and time away from the world. If there have been ways that you have been dissociating or things that have been hidden in your subconscious, or just secrets are not being consciously aware, hidden subconscious, then those could come to light, and they're likely to do with work and organization. How you're of service to the world is also the 6th house. There are things that we do that we just do because we feel like we have to. This is historically the house of slavery. So where is it that you feel like a slave to your life? And where is it that you can create changes so that you get the right amount of rest and recharge and step forward in the world in a way that feels good for you? The Grand Cross is with the North Node in your 9th house and the South Node in your 3rd house. So ideas and what you value and having a bigger, higher purpose to everything is really important right now. You don't want to be doing things just to stay busy. That's what the 6th house can sometimes be. And that's what the South Node in your 3rd house of Virgo is about. You're noticing that there are things to let go that are just keeping you busy for the sake of feeling productive, but they might not actually be productive. This could be communication that needs to change or shift. This could be neighbors or leaving a neighborhood, or siblings and cousins and close relatives that play a role in leaving something behind that has left you feel scattered and drained, maybe overly worried or concerned, and moving towards that bigger spiritual picture of something with higher purpose. With the North Node in the 9th house, this could be travel, this could be a new teacher, you could be teaching, you could be joining an academic program. Foreign places, foreign people, foreign concepts, things that are new to you. You're going to be craving more of that information and wanting to dive into, you're going to feel the motivation to dive into information that has meaning and not just information for the sake of it. This is part of the path to better efficiency and better health. And there could be teachers that come along to help you with that. So this is an energy where you want to pay attention to ideas that are outside of the way you have been thinking about things. And certainly North Node in Pisces over the next year could bring new people that have an important role on the path ahead for you. Check out my North Node in Pisces video in the description below. I'm going to link the 2025 playlist there if you want to catch up on any of the other big transits hitting us this year, because everything is activated at this full moon too. And we just had that at the Gemini new moon, which I'll also link below, because they're very common themes that are showing up. And what is being activated right now in the Gemini and Sagittarius axis for all of us is a craving for a new adventure, a craving for embarking on a journey that gives us purpose and meaning. We are in the first separating square from Mars to Uranus, and this is happening in your 2nd house to your 11th. So radical changes that you're making to your networks, your community, the people that you're connected with in this world, it has to align with your values. And this could be a moment where you find that you're really motivated and passionate about your energy, what you believe to be valuable, your possessions. Some of your possessions could be going at this time. You could be selling possessions with Mars in your second house and just cutting things off. And maybe that's the square to Uranus in your 11th house of markets. You could be selling things online as a physical manifestation, but energetically, this has to do with alignment of what matters to you with the connection to the greater good. And the connection to the greater good being the people and community that you surround yourself with. Not your closest friends, but the bigger communities that you're a part of. There is a lot of spiritual activation here for you, Cancer, and it looks like when Uranus moves into your 12th house in July, you're going to be feeling a lot more heightened intuition, and that's going to continue this expansive spiritual journey that you seem to be on. But right now, your connections are probably changing. Teachers are coming into your life, and that could be part of more spiritual expansion to come over the next 14 years with Uranus. And that could be part of more of the spiritual transition to come with this larger 8-year transit of Uranus. But more on that next time. For now, enjoy this full moon. This is a wonderful time to let go of habits that are not serving you anymore. Build new routines, let go of old routines, and you're on a path that is meaningful when it comes to health and the work that you do in the world and just the daily stuff that you need to get done. There's going to be an element of more efficiency and more downtime for you too, in a healthy way, in a way that's not just dissociating because you're too tired from draining your energy out towards others. Thank you so much for being here, watching this video, hanging out with astrology time with me. And it's so much fun chatting with you in the comments and seeing you for Zoom readings. If you feel called to that, the link for booking is in the description below. But have a wonderful full moon, and I will see you next time. Hi, Leo. This is a 5th house full moon for you. So this is a time where you're reaching a new level of awareness when it comes to who you are as a person. The 5th house is a Leo house. So this is your domain. This is about feeling free to express who you truly are, to express from the heart, to wear your heart on your sleeve, maybe. And there's a lot of balancing that's been going on with your 11th house, which is on the other side of the 5th. And that's more about the ways that you liberate yourself and break the mold from what has historically been done. The way that you connect with other people, your online connections, your work connections, your larger communities. But really at the essence of the 11th house is the ways that you step into a new reality. And we do that with other people. We do that with our communities and our networks. The 5th house full moon can be that networks and your communities start to shed some light on areas that you can be more yourself, that you can express in ways that feel more authentic to you. There's always a dance with the 5th and the 11th of what it takes to connect, what it takes to be part of the system, and what you want to do, what feels right to you, what feels playful, what feels aligned with joy and your childlike, playful essence. This could have to do with actual children, if that's part of your life. There could be new thresholds and there could be new levels being reached with them, new communities that they're a part of. This grand cross in the sky is also activating your 2nd and 8th house. And that's a money house. That's a money axis. That is resources. You might feel more energetically drained as you go through some of these transitions, but you're going to have the support from other people in your 8th house where the North Node is. You are going to be focusing on deeper, more intimate bonds. You are going to have potentially a new source of financial support from another person. It could be that the money that you receive from the work that you do is changing. This is a moment where things could shift quite abruptly with your career and the motivation, the drive, and the fire that you're feeling within. Mars is in your sign, and Mars is the ruler of Aries, another fire sign. So you have this extra fire that you've been feeling all month. Uranus is finishing in your 10th house. And so this unpredictability of the path that you're on and the direction that you're going in life is about to change. That will be another video in July. But for this moon, know that this is all one big story. Any abrupt shifts with who you are as an individual, the work that you do and the way that you're seen out in the world, the resources that you rely on, the networks that maybe feed that resource, or the partners that you have in life, the business partners that you merge with. But when the nodes are involved, you can trust that this is a fated karmic path that you're on. So even if it feels like shaky ground, it's going to have the payoff and the opportunities are going to show up. And it could be at the time of this full moon. It could be that you are being recognized for your artistic, creative flair, a flair that's unique to you. And that's bringing in new community. And something has to shift. When new things come in, there's a natural process of some things are let go and eliminated. And whether that comes before or after, it's going to be different for everyone. But know that there is something bigger playing out when the nodes are involved. And you will have a better sense of that as the next 1.5 transit goes on with the North Node in your 8th house. You can learn more about that with my North Node in Pisces video. I will link that in the description of my 2025 playlist. But overall, it is about learning deeper intimacy through the exchange of give and take, trusting that others can support you. And also there's a transformational piece for you. There's an energetic transformational piece. So it might not be anything that's visible on the outside, but this is something that you are going to feel deep inside. It could be subconscious with Pisces in the 8th house. You could be using your subconscious to tap into more creativity and more self-expression. There could be a dissolving of old psychological limitations that have been holding you back from feeling more authentically you and having more play and trust in this world and in the ways that what you have to offer is received. Because that's the thing with the 5th and 11th house axis is that, yes, it's about creative expression and who we are at the core of our being when we're free and loving and can represent true love and dating and romance. But the 11th house is where it is received. It is the connection that we have to other beings. So there's balancing to do there. There's an opportunity for intimacy to grow, for psychological transformation, for your resources to shift. The resources are going to be different for everyone. The energy that you feel that you have to share with the world is another factor, but take this as an opportunity to balance your energy in response to others. And that Mars in your 1st house, it's going to fade shortly after this full moon. And you're going to be more motivated with your resources and either expanding or conserving or however that plays out for each of you. Mars is on the go. But for now, enjoy that extra boost of energy that Mars can give. And it looks like career and public image could be a bit unpredictable, but it's all part of the bigger plan. Thank you so much for being here, Leo. It is so fun chatting astrology with you. And if you would like more of this, I'm available for one-on-one Zoom readings. I will link my website in the description below and the 2025 playlist so you can review more of these more of these wild transits that are unfolding in 2025. Have a wonderful full moon, and I will see you next time. Virgo, you are another one of the signs that is greatly affected by this full moon. It is happening in your 4th house of home, family, your inner world, your family upbringing. This is a place that you want to feel safe and nurtured, and that you can really let your guard down. With a sign like Sagittarius ruling your 4th house, home is also a place of questioning and deeper understanding, always searching and adventuring, and there's a playfulness in Sagittarius. There's a joy and a happiness that you want to feel in your home life. And there needs to be wisdom and a purpose to what is going on at home as well. So as much as it is a cozy place of rest and retreat and safety, there's an element of expansion. And home might be a place where you cozy up and read books about spirituality and foreign places, foreign things, and expand your mind, but it's expanding your mind through a way of finding purpose and meaning in your inner world, in this whole life. With the sun in your 10th house, this is a time where you could be more visible. You could be showing what's on the inside. You could be transforming what's on the inside through work and career. There could be something about the visibility at this time, or the work that you're working towards, or the achievements and recognition that you're getting that have to do with self and other and partnerships. This is where the nodal axis is for you. And for the next year, you still have a lot of activity where fated partnerships are coming in. And because this is activating status and career and home, this could be a moment where your home life and status changes due to a partnership. It could be a work partnership, a romantic partnership, or just a karmic relationship that is going to bring a lot of transformation to your inner wisdom. Mars is in your 12th house and Uranus is in your 9th house, and there's a square happening between those two at the time of this grand cross as well. This is a time where you could be less in touch with subconscious anger, or there could be emotions bubbling to the surface. With Mars in the 12th house, this is a time where focus could be on overseas places, faraway places. There could be more subconscious dream time and subconscious material that's coming up and radically changing your perspective on life. That's Uranus in the 9th house. These are both houses that have to do with travel, overseas, foreign places. So if travel is something that's going on for you, then this is a moment where something unexpected could shift, and it could change your home. It could be part of the changes with home and the changes with home and career. But this is not going to be about a move for all Virgos. This is not going to be about overseas travel or faraway places for all Virgos. But there is going to be an element of your inner wisdom transforming. This is reaching a new radical shifting point from changing from who you have been based on the way that you were raised, the family that you grew up with, your family lineage, maybe mother's influence with the 4th house, but your hometown and the way that you grew up is a big influence on who we are. And throughout life, there are moments that this starts to break down and we choose something different. But this is one of those moments. There's going to be a moment where you see something differently about the way that you were raised. Venus is in Taurus, and this is a wonderful place for Venus to be. It is especially beneficial for you because this is a lovely angle to your ascendant. So if you need to do any haircuts, any beauty updates, shopping, this is a time where your purchases are really going to align with something that brings you pleasure and could add a new element of beautifying self that matches the vibration that you're currently at. That's the thing with astrology transits, is that when they change who we are on the inside, there is often a transformation to match on the outside. So take advantage of June for Venus in Taurus. Well, Venus is going to move into Gemini after that, and not a bad place to have Venus either in your 10th house of visibility. So for the next 2 months, Venus is just stronger in Taurus, but for the next 2 months, you have really positive Venus activity happening as well. So this could be big changes with home, Virgo. This could be a shift in home and outer world, inner world and outer world, home and career. And Partnerships are activated. Fated shifts in the people that are important to you are starting to unfold. And you're moving in the direction of bonds that really matter and bonds that match where you're at as well. This is a moon of change. Regardless of how it feels in the moment, it is going to be a welcomed one that's moving you towards your path of partnership. Jupiter is now in your 11th house, and I recently made a video about Jupiter transit. So if you haven't seen that one yet, check that one out. I think it's going to add it will add more depth to understanding what is going on in the big picture for you. But thank you so much for being here for this video, Virgo. And it is so much fun chatting with you in the comments and seeing you for Zoom calls. So if you feel called to that, I will leave my booking link in the description below. But have a wonderful Sagittarius full moon in your 4th house of home, and I will see you next time. Hi, Libra. This full moon is happening in your 3rd house. So this is a shift in your neighborhood, short distance travel, vehicles, communication, media, the way that you express yourself, the thoughts that you have in a daily way and a daily basis. This is the functional ideas that we have. And the question at a full moon like this is, how functional are they? How much is this feeding into your bigger picture of the world, the wisdom that you have about what matters for the big picture, what matters in a spiritual sense? You're going to be letting go of ideas that are maybe creating busyness, but not getting you to where you want to go. The sun in your 9th house is illuminating things about your mindset and about foreign places and foreign people and travel and adventure perhaps, or education of some kind. It is showing you a new way of using your mind in a day-to-day practical way. Or writing. You could be writing more about the wisdom and teachings that you have been working on and gaining up until this point. With the Grand Cross part of this story and the North Node in your 6th house, this is about health or work or routines, and mindset is a big part of that. The way that you take in information and the way that you use ideas to your advantage for work and health and routines is an important part of that process. So this is a moment where your subconscious could shift with the South Node in the 12th house. You could have spiritual teachers or past life teachers come in. This could shift the media that you take in. This could be either what you put out there in the world or what you absorb. And that matters too when you're creating a mind that's functional and healthy routines. So maybe you put an end to scrolling and just mindlessly taking in social media. And that has a big impact on your routine and being efficient, getting work done during the day, spending more time on healthy routines, and maybe meditation, because Pisces is your 6th house. So you could be feeling more energetically connected before you're doing the practical work. You're using that balance of energy first and then into the physical manifestation. Especially with the Pisces 6th house, you want practical, efficient work. But you know that comes from a healthy source, that when we're stressed and anxious and just doing a bunch of things, we're often not as productive as the times that we're not under pressure, we're clear-headed, we're just going with the flow. We have had healthy exercise and nutrition. We are able to be in alignment with something that is intuitively guided. Partnerships, friends, communities, transformation of the psyche. These are areas that are activated with the Mars-Uranus square. Mars is in your 11th house of networks and community. And breaking the mold. You might be more motivated to just break free of what has been taught in the past and what is standard, what is practical. There's a moment of feeling really liberated in the connections that you have. But this creates a deeper transformation for the 8th house, which is your psyche. This could be death and birth and rebirth. This is a metamorphosis transformation that is often quite profound and is either coming from your community and networks or as a result of the connections that you're making, maybe the energy that you're putting out there online. So there is a lot of activation of knowledge, communication, online connections, and how this affects your psyche and your productivity. The other thing with the 8th house is deep, intimate bonds. There could be some unexpected shifts there with friends and networks. The Uranus-Mars square, this whole grand cross in the sky, it is something that is going to be sudden and sometimes uncomfortable when these sudden shifts happen. But it's also a bursting energy. It is a bursting of a release when we have a full moon in Sagittarius, and a release that has purpose and a release that is going to help us move towards something that has a lot of wisdom and value and meaning in our lives. Whatever shows up, let things shift. This is a good time to be observing the surroundings, observing your own psyche, and monitoring what needs to come and go when it comes to communication and media and expression and writing. You have the sun in your 9th house, so you have this vitality of wisdom and illumination there that is the house is the classic placement for Sagittarius. So as much as one communication adventure could be ending or shifting, you're very likely reaching a new level of all of those things. Lots of different ways this could show up, Sag. Let me know how this is going for you in the comments. Would love to see you there. And thank you so much for being here for this video. Have a wonderful full moon. And if you would like to follow up with a one-on-one Zoom call with me, my link for booking will be in the description below. I will see you next time. Hi, Scorpio. This is the 2nd house full moon for you. So this is all about what you value and what brings you pleasure, how you manage your energy, how you enjoy this world through your 5 senses, whether that's food or other earthly experiences. This is the classic placement for Taurus. That's what Taurus and Venus as the ruler of Taurus represent. The questions will be around that. Whatever's showing up in your life right now, think about that as the big main thing that's unfolding. If there is conflict in your bonds, in shared resources, if there's tension, it doesn't have to be conflict. There could be just something about intimacy and shared resources with another person that has you reevaluating how you want to manage your energy and your resources. The Grand Cross is activating your 5th house and your 11th house with the nodal axis as well. This has been such an ongoing story for you, Scorpio, with the North Node in your 5th house and all of the activity that you have had for the past 3 and 14 years with Saturn and Neptune in your 5th house. So there has been a lot of restructuring of how you express yourself, how you feel free to be creative, to love, to express love, because it is what is deeply, authentically us at the core of our being. So when you're expressing from the 5th house, you're expressing that childlike, pure love that needs to be uncovered as adults, because it gets covered up with responsibilities and shoulds and heartbreak and paying bills and being told that we can't do things or we can't be certain things. But moons like this help us reevaluate that we can stay in alignment with that, especially once we establish the more Capricorn energy of getting work done and creating a strong foundation for the direction that we're going in. while you are balancing the 5th house and 11th house at the time of this moon, this 11th house is where your south node is. So there could be some releasing of communities and networks, acquaintances, your audience, the ways that you connect with the world, the ways that you liberate yourself from overthinking and over analyzing your communities and others around you, or over analyzing how you connect. And when you let go of that and you're just being more in your Pisces North Node 5th house, free flowing energy, just is what it is energy or vibe, you're going to improve your ways of connecting with others as well. But it does start with self on a journey like this and in a moment like this. The Mars square to Uranus is happening in your 10th and 7th house. So this is on an axis, and the motivation is going to be about your public image and your status, just getting things done, working towards your bigger goals, being a leader in the world. Maybe leadership role that you're taking on is creating tension that's going to revolutionize your relationships, your partnerships. If this is work partnerships, I could see you being more forward about who it is that you are and a bit more unwilling to compromise certain parts of your self-expression. And you have Leo in the 10th house. So you naturally want to exude this real honest, heart-forward part of yourself. You don't want it to be boxed in typical status and work progress or leadership types of definitions. There's a need to be heart forward. And this is a moment where values get really lit up. Your ability to be in your Leo energy and your 5th house energy of creative force is really lit up, and in a way that is seen by others, in a way that could create some shockwaves. But if that does, it's an important process or piece of really breaking free from the molds in partnerships, whether that's business or romantic or just significant people in your life, especially those that you have contracts with of any kind. Venus is also in your partnership house at the time of this full moon. And Venus in Taurus is really my favorite time of season, especially for people where that's at a lovely angle to your sign. So earth and water signs like you. But for you, it's partnerships. And what a wonderful time to really enjoy sensual pleasures in partnerships. Anything that you find pleasurable, you're going to be feeling more secure in your partnerships as you have Uranus finishing its transit there, creating these revolutionary shockwaves. So it looks to me like you have the right support to go through radical change, to create some shocking, tumultuous disruptions that are needed, that are wanted, and that are going to create more pleasure, more security, more stability with Venus in Taurus in your partnership house. And Taurus is the classic position of the 2nd house. So with this moon in your 2nd house, there's a lot of nice connection there where ultimately this is creating more security and stability in your partnerships, allowing you to be more authentic, to be seen in a really free, loving way, and expand who you are out in this world, expand your creativity and expand your connections, even if there are some shifts that might make it feel like it is the opposite. Not for all of you, but it might feel like that in the moment, but the goal is still going to create more liberation and expansion with your 11th house of community. But it's Virgo, so it could be just an element of letting go of worry and overly analyzing all of the social connections that you have, and you're just in a place of being and feeling free with your heart open. You let me know how this is going for you, Scorpio. I would love to hear how this is unfolding. It's so fun chatting with you in the comments, and thank you for just being here and hanging out for this video. If you would like to hear more, I have a 2025 playlist that you can review all of the big transits happening this year and one-on-one Zoom calls with me. That link will be in the description below. It would be fun to see you there. But for now, have a wonderful full moon in your second house of Sagittarius, and I will see you next time. Sagittarius, this is your full moon. This is a big one. This is a grand cross on your axis of self and other, of home and inner world and outer world, visibility, career, leadership. First, let's talk about the moon in your sign. So a full moon in Sagittarius of the first house can be about changes to your body, changes to who you are in any aspect of life, and a culminating point where you're reaching a new level for who you are. There's something that is bursting and releasing, and a new level is reached as a result. You're just aware of something new about yourself that you didn't see before. And it could be partnerships that are reflecting this back to you. With the sun in your partnership house, there is a demand for balancing energy between self and other, and a wonderful time to be introspective. Even though this is a full moon, and that's typically a time where we're out in the world a little bit more, this particular full moon is one where you're going to be reflecting more on who you are on the inside. And that's the North Node in Pisces in your fourth house. You could feel quite detached from the family that you were raised by, your mother, your ancestors. You could feel there could be some fog or confusion, so you might not realize what you don't know what you don't know kind of energy. There could be a tendency to over-idealize family and home. And with Pisces, maybe there's an element of overseas home or faraway places. The Pisces North Node energy can be lovely. It can be romanticized, dreamy, rose-colored glasses, creative, cozy space when we are accepting it and we're in the flow of the universe and all that is. But there is an element that is detached from reality. And that is a place where we're not seeing things clearly as they actually are. We can get caught up in what we want it to be, or the dreaminess, the feel-goodness of the natural detachment that Pisces is. There's positive elements to a healthy amount of detachment and connection to the source energy. But this moon looks like there is a moment of insight, and you're seeing things clearly. You're seeing where there might be high hopes that need adjusting. You're seeing where you want to go with home. You're just seeing things in a different light, and your journey towards home is one, it's going to be energetic, it's going to be at an inner level, but it could manifest in the outer practical ways too. So for some of you, you're going through fated shifts when it comes to family, home, and even connection to your mother. There's a letting go when it comes to a full moon in your sign, but this grand cross with the South Node in your 10th house is a letting go of over-analyzing career and leadership, and some of those details might be bogging you down and not allowing you to rest and retreat and have this cozy home space to go back to. There needs to be balance with that, with the 4th house and the 10th house, where the nodal axis is right now. As much as being a leader out in the world and taking care of all the detail, being of service to others with Virgo there for you, there's a part where you can get very detached from who you really are, what home really means to you in that process of being overly busy out in the world and in career. So look at details that way. Where are you overly busy and not using your time efficiently? Maybe being too analytical, and that there's a feeling that you can control and guide your life if you just have the right leadership skills in the right position, and you work hard enough, and you do all the things and follow all the steps, and you're patient, and it takes time. But there needs to be still a certain amount of time that is spent for you, that is spent on your home and creating balance in your life in all ways. This moon is actually lighting up all aspects of life for everyone, at least the energy in the sky at the time of this moon. So the details can show up in so many different ways, but I'm taking the bigger parts of this transit and focusing on that, at least the more potentially jarring and obvious energy shifts that could occur. And that's also Mars and Uranus square. That's happening in your 9th and 6th house. So with Mars in your 9th house, you are more focused on Sagittarius-like things, and in a Leo way. So you are expressing from the heart. You are following your heart to find wisdom and things that really matter to you. You're finding new purpose, or you're just motivated by a higher purpose. You don't want to just do things for the sake of doing things anymore. This seems to be a theme that's repeating. This tension between Mars and Uranus is happening to your 6th house with Uranus, with daily activities, routines, habits, health. This is a time where your higher wisdom is coming in to shift the way that you do things, and you're going to feel more efficient. You're going to feel that your service is more applicable to a new way of moving forward in the world, not just service the way things have been done in the past and the way that feels stable and secure because it's been done before, but maybe you're finding ways that it's not working anymore. However this full moon is playing out for you, there's an element where changing your routine, changing your habits, working on your health, being more efficient with work, and letting go of the overdoing pieces. There are places where things need to just be and be in a deeper acceptance. You're going to find that with aligning with a new wisdom. And I can't predict what that's going to be for each person. It'll be different. Always a good opportunity to get personal birth chart readings if you want more information on that. But you'll know where there's a higher calling that's stepping in right now. And as a Sag, you are always following that. You're not a sign that typically gets stuck or snagged in a spiral when there might be moments. That's normal for all of us. But ultimately, you're always searching for the next truth, the next eagle eye perspective. There's a hierarchy and a foundation to that next level eagle eye perspective in Sagittarius, that you cannot go from the perspective of being on the ground to being out in outer space and understanding what's going on in between all those stages. But if you're going up and expanding that perspective in smaller bites, then you understand more and more, and you can put a picture together that makes more sense rather than a big leap from one thing to a totally different perspective. I think that'll make sense to a Sag. But you let me know how this is going for you. Because Mars is in your 9th house, this is extra potent Sagittarius type energy for you. So no matter how it's showing up in your routines and your career, your public image, and your home life, it's going to be about these higher wisdom Sagittarius topics. You're going to be feeling like you want to seek adventure and get caught up in the passion of the search and the experience, whichever way that unfolds for you. Thank you for hanging out with me for this video. And if you are interested in more videos like this, my 2025 playlist will be linked below, as well as my link for online booking at my website. Would love to see you there, and have a wonderful Sagittarius full moon. I'll see you next time. Capricorn, this is a 12th house full moon for you. So this is This is a place where things can be hidden. This is a place of subconscious awakenings and opening up to new levels of subconscious material. Your dreams could be really heightened. This could be a connection to overseas places, travel, foreign, faraway places. But this is a house of your connection to energy of all things. And there's an element that's being balanced with your 6th house where the sun is, which is about work and service, organization, analyzing, and it's a very functional house. It's a house of health. So there is tension building on this angle as well as your 3rd and 9th. Both travel houses with the 9th house and the 12th house, but the 9th house is Sagittarius energy, which is this full moon. You have Sag in the 12th, but the 9th house is connected to that too. So you have this overlap of activation when it comes to higher wisdom, spiritual purpose, what really matters to you, and how is your perspective elevating and shifting. The elevation of perspective comes in stages, and you might feel that this moon offers another step up to seeing things differently. So you could be letting go of some ways of viewing the world. The North Node in your 3rd house is about bringing more attention to the way that you use your words and your mind, your language, the way that you put this higher wisdom and understanding of the world into functional pieces, whether that's writing or your speech or the mindset that you have on a daily basis. The North Node 3rd house could be about vehicles, short distance travel, neighbors, cousins, close relatives, but there's more of a focus on expression, clerical tasks, how you get expression to work for you on a daily basis. A lot of elements here that speak to creating words out of intangible ideas. It is as if you are getting a feeling for the world around you and you're able to put that into something practical and functional. Heightened intuition. For some of you, there could be actual travel and exploration. There could be unknown things that come to light. The Mars-Uranus square is happening in your 8th house and your 5th house. Mars in your 8th is psychological transformation. There's a motivation for deep bonding. There is a shifting in shared resources. This could be death and birth and rebirth. This is the phoenix rising from the ashes and psychological metamorphosis. Uranus is in your 5th house, so your creative energy could go through sudden upgrade and revelation and shift. The way you have fun, the way you express who you truly are. Something to do with your children, if you have children, can create radical changes that are surprising, that you didn't see coming. But there's healing to be had here. There is a grand trine with Mars in your 8th, this moon, and Chiron in your 4th. So this is about healing a wound to do with your family, with the way that you were raised, with your upbringing, with your mother, with the town that you were raised in, or your actual home. And most likely for everyone, there'll be an element of inner world. Chiron is here, and this is a wound that is one that we keep more private, but that we feel a sensitivity to in the world, and we feel compassion with other people that share the same element, the same vibration. This moon could offer a sudden shift and a bursting forth in that Chiron energy of home that opens your heart and has you feeling like you can really just express who you truly are in a way that was different than before. You've probably been working towards this, but this is a moment where things can shift abruptly. A Sagittarius full moon is about wisdom. It is about seeking the truth above the experiences that we go through, and knowing that the experience is just a piece of the process. It's not the big picture. And as humans, it's so easy to get caught up in the process and the details, in that Virgo energy where the South Node is. And we're all dissolving that right now. We're dissolving more of the worry and the analyzing in order to get where we want to go and be healthy and all the Virgo things. And we're moving towards an element of just being. So that's the nodal axis for you as well, is that you're letting go of worrying too much about the higher wisdom and you're just being in the presence of your expression. That's what's going to help you feel more free to be who you are. If you have been overanalyzing your spiritual process and trying to be wise, and there's a diligence with Capricorn energy. So you do always want to be working towards something. In a lot of times, we this is the energy that we all want. But at a moment like this is permission to get into the free flow and allow your words and your communication to take on a life of their own. And that's when they're going to be more aligned with the source and with the energy that connects us all. So without knowing, without grasping too much at wisdom, you're going to be naturally falling into alignment with it when you have more flow and ease and get less caught up in the big picture. So that's different for Capricorns than for how this is showing up for a lot of signs. Take time to rest if you need it. This is a time where you could feel more drawn to time away from the world. And that's where you're going to connect with the source and the flow and feel more in alignment without having the overthinking process of the big picture. But you let me know how this is going for you, Capricorn. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Always so much fun to chat with you there. And in the one-on-one Zoom readings, I will link that in the description as well. But thank you for just being here for this video and hanging out. Have a wonderful full moon in Sagittarius in your 12th house, and I will see you next time.